She shouted my daughter's name across the playground, then shoved her to the ground like she was a criminal. The whole place went silent. My heart froze when I saw who it was, Mrs. Thompson, the same Karen who ran our HOA like her personal kingdom. She pointed at my little girl and yelled, "Your kid doesn't belong here. This is a private school for community members only," kids whispered. Teachers looked unsure, but my daughter just stood up, brushed off the dirt, and said quietly, "You shouldn't have done that." I saw it in her eyes, not fear, but anger. The same fire I hadn't seen since her mother passed 3 years ago. What Mrs. Thompson didn't know was that Emily had been training in self-defense since she was 7. Her mom, before she died, was a state-level MMA fighter. "Touch her again," I said, stepping forward, "and every parent here will know who you really are." Karen smirked. "I'm the HOA president. I can have you both banned from this campus." The crowd stayed silent. A teacher tried to intervene, but Karen raised her hand like she owned the place. "Rules are rules," she said smugly. Emily slowly picked up her backpack, slung it over her shoulder, and replied, "Then maybe you should follow them too." Something in her calm tone made Karen hesitate. She didn't realize she'd just picked a fight she couldn't win, because the last person you should ever push down is someone who knows how to stand back up. The next morning, Karen doubled down. I found her by the school gate, clipboard in hand, whispering to other parents. "That girl attacked me," she said loudly. "Her father is dangerous. He doesn't even live here legally." When I approached, everyone fell silent again. Karen folded her arms. "You shouldn't be here," she sneered. "I've already filed a complaint with the HOA board. We'll remove you for disturbing the community." I kept calm. "Karen, the school isn't HOA property," she scoffed. "Everything within our gates is HOA property." That's when the principal, Mr. Lewis, stepped out looking nervous. "Sir, please leave until this is resolved," he said softly. Karen grinned. "See? Even he agrees." I looked at Emily. She whispered, "Dad, don't worry. I recorded everything yesterday." Karen froze. "What did you just say?" Emily unlocked her phone and hit play. Karen's voice filled the hallway, yelling, "Get out of here. You don't belong in my community." Then the sound of her shoving Emily. Parents gasped. One mother whispered, "Oh my God, she pushed her." Karen's face turned pale. "That's fake," she stammered. Emily tilted her head slightly. "It's already uploaded to the school portal. The board saw it this morning." Mr. Lewis blinked. "Mrs. Thompson, we need to talk. Now." Karen looked like she might explode, but I saw something else in her eyes. Fear. Because she had no idea this was just the beginning. The HOA had picked the wrong family to mess with. A few nights later, flashing red and blue lights lit up my driveway. 2 officers stood by their cruiser, while Karen held a stack of papers. She pointed straight at me. "That's him. He's living here illegally. He's squatting on HOA land." I stepped out calmly. "Officers, this is my home." "I have the deed," Karen sneered. "A fake deed, probably. He doesn't even have permission for that new fence." One officer turned to me. "Sir, do you have proof of ownership?" I nodded, went inside, and returned with a folder. "Not just ownership," I said, handing it over. "You might want to see who actually owns the land beneath this entire neighborhood." Karen laughed. "Please stop making things up." The officer scanned the papers, then looked up, confused. "Wait. This says the property, including the lake and surrounding lots, were purchased by a Mr. David Miller 5 years ago." "That's you?" I smiled. "Correct. The HOA leases this land. Technically, I allow them to be here." Karen's jaw dropped. "That's impossible." I stepped closer. "Next time you call the cops, make sure you know who's really in charge." The officers handed back the papers and left. Karen stood frozen on my lawn, face red with humiliation. "This isn't over," she hissed. "It might be," I said quietly. But deep down I knew. Karens never quit quietly. The next morning, chaos greeted me. My mailbox was smashed, my fence torn down, and "Get Out" was spray-painted across my gate. Karen had crossed the line. Emily saw it first. She clenched her fists but didn't cry. "She won't stop, Dad." "Then we'll make her stop," I said. I called my lawyer, an old Army buddy named Chris. After I explained everything, he said, "Interesting thing, Dave, I checked the HOA's finances. Karen's been using member funds for her home renovations." That was the final straw. That evening, we walked into the HOA meeting uninvited. Board members turned as we entered. Karen sat at the front, fake smile plastered on her face. "You can't be here," she started. "Actually," I interrupted, "I can. Since I own the land." Gasps filled the room. I placed a flash drive on the table. "And this shows where everyone's HOA fees went. Straight into your kitchen remodel and your husband's company." Her face went white. "You can't prove that." Chris plugged in the drive. The projector lit up, receipts, bank statements, photos, everything. The board erupted. "You used our money," one man shouted. "You're finished, Karen," another yelled. Karen trembled. "You set me up. You don't know who you're dealing with." I stepped closer. "No, Karen. You didn't know who you were dealing with." At that moment, the same officers walked in. Chris had called them earlier. "Mrs. Thompson," one officer said firmly, "you're under arrest for fraud and vandalism." The room went silent as they led her away in handcuffs. Emily looked up at me, calm and proud. "Is it finally over?" I smiled. "Yes, sweetheart. It's over." Weeks later, the HOA was restructured under new leadership. The graffiti was gone, the fence rebuilt, and peace finally returned. But what most people didn't know was that Emily had started a small self-defense class for neighborhood kids. She called it Stand Strong. Watching her teach them confidence, courage, and respect, I realized something. Karen tried to break her, but all she did was make her stronger. The end.